Welcome back everyone to this next lecture on the series of how to evaluate the course outcomes. So in this lecture, we will be talking about how to perform course outcome attainment or course outcome assessment through internals. Myself, Mohammad Ziauddin Jahangir, Assistant Professor, Department of EC, CBIT, Hyderabad. Let us proceed. In the previous lecture, we have seen how to evaluate the course outcome for a particular mid-examination. Okay. I hope you remember the procedure which we have done in the earlier class to find the CO attainment for a given mid-examination. If you have not found that, you can refer to my previous video. There you will be finding the complete procedure. Yeah. Therefore, in this video, we will be talking about course outcome attainment complete internal course outcome attainment. So what is this internal attainment? Let's just have a brief review before we go into the process. Course outcome assessment is actually done in two ways. Okay. One, it is done through internal CO internal assessment, and other is called as CO external assessment. The reason why it is called as internal assessment is because the instruments that are used for evaluating that are related to internal examinations like class test, assignments, slip tests, lab internals, presentations, mini project, etc. It is not compulsory for a given course, all these instruments will be there. Some of the instruments will be there for a theory course. For a lab course, different instruments might be used. Okay. So if you are calculating CO assessment through them, then it will be called as internal CO assessment. Similarly, will be the external CO assessment? The assessment which is calculated based on the external exam, that is the end exam, semester end exam, or final project viva, etc. That will be called as external assessment. So those are the tools listed here. It is not restricted to this. Different tools can be introduced even in the future. Someone may come up with a new method of assessing the performance of the student. Okay, that also can be fit into these categories. Some people do argue that course assessment should actually have direct and indirect CO assessment. So whatever we have seen is direct assessment, and they argue that CO indirect assessment also need to be there, which should be based on the course and survey or the teacher feedback. I personally do not believe in this, because when indirect assessments are mostly based on perception, and when your direct assessments are based on the facts, based on the marks which the students have achieved or they have secured in a given mark in given examination. Even in the NBA, CO indirect assessment is considered to be optional. Okay, it is better if you don't perform this. If you have performed also, it is just considered optional, and you're supposed to get a very minute weightage of 0.1 or 10% for this particular evaluation, because it is just perception. So this is the method which I prefer and we follow at CBIT. Okay, for the new curriculums, we are actually preferring this also. Right. So now let us take an example of a course. For example, if I want to calculate the internal assessment for a theory course, first I should know what are the tools or assessment instruments available for that particular course. So for this course, which I have taken as an example, the internal assessment tools available to me are assignment or slip test 1, assignment or slip test 2, or assignment or slip test 3. That means the 3 assignments or slip tests will be conducted during a semester for any theory course. Okay, this is in R16 curriculum of CBIT. Similarly, there is going to be 2 internal examination, which we call as mid examination. Okay, and this is how their marks are allocated. So each assignment will be of 10 marks, and each mid examination will be of 20 marks, and average of these 2 is going to be taken as the final mid marks, and average of the best 2 among them is taken as for allotting the marks, and ultimately these two are summed up to give the CIE marks. CIE here stands for continuous internal evaluation. Then there is an external assessment for this theory course in the form of external theory exam, so which is called a semester end examination, which is conducted for 70 marks. So for any theory course in our 16 curriculum, 70 marks are the weightage out of 100. 70 marks weightage is for external examination and 30 marks weightage is for internal examination. So now let us see how to perform the internal assessment for assuming that this is the theory course I have, and assuming that I have already done the CO assessment for assignments and class test, following the procedure which we have seen in my earlier video. So this is my earlier sheet where I have done the CO assessment, a sample CO assessment for mid-1 examination, and this is the attainments which I have got. Assume that I have done the similar, assuming that I have done the similar assessment for all the available instruments which are available to me. Let me first list all those instruments. I will take a new page and list them. So the instrument which I have, one is assignment or slip test 1. Slip test 1. Similarly, I have assignment or slip test 2, assignment or slip test 3. Then the other instruments which I have, this is instruments for CIE evaluation, internal evaluation. The other instruments which I have is mid 1 or class test 1 or class test 2. Let me call it as class test 1. Test 1 and class test 2. Right. So what I will do here is whatever are the CO attainments that are already calculated for these courses, I will be bringing them here. So let me make a row for each CO attainment. So attainment of CO1. Similarly, attainment of CO2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So from the previous evaluation, I have class test 1 or mid 1, 3, 3, 3, and then all are not addressed. So you have 3, 3, 3, and then you have not addressed, not addressed, not addressed. Similarly, let me assume some values for this assignment and class test 2. Yeah. So I filled some values here randomly. So 3, 3, 3, and some values I have given the lesser attainments also, like 2 here. Okay, only 2 COs are addressed, I'm assuming, and slip test 3, only 1 attainment level. These are all assumptions, but actually you have to calculate and get them. And I have also taken an example where not, some COs are not attained, like in CO5 is not attained in class test 2. Now, what are you supposed to do out of after this is to calculate the average attainment through assignment and average attainment through class test. Okay, so how will you do that? You can simply use average formula. Okay, and when you're calculating an average, one thing you have to take into mind is you have to divide not by 3. When you have to all sum these 3 assignments and divide not by 3, but only for those COs, that many number of COs which are addressed. In this case, CO1, when I talk about assignment related things, CO1 is, let me just color them so that I can differentiate between class test and slip test. Sorry, class test and assignments. So this is assignment, and here I'm calculating the assignment average. Okay, so when I'm calculating the average, I should only see these 3 things, and I have to sum them up and divide by 3, but only if they are all addressed. If they are not addressed, I have to take only the 1 and divide by 1. Okay, so that means it is equal to 3 by 1. This is going to be 3. Okay, instead of doing that, you can simply use average formula in Excel sheet. Okay, because average itself is going to take only the numbers. If they are not numbers, it is going to skip them both in numerator and denominator. Right. The same thing I need to follow for all the three essay, all the six attainments. Here also you can see three not addressed, not addressed. So I got three as the attainment level. I'll bold this. Okay. Whereas here it was not addressed. Here 3, 2, and not addressed. So the average would be 3 plus 2, 5 divided by 2, just 2.5. Right. Similarly, it is done. Now let me calculate the attainment through class test. So I will be using the same formula average this time, but I will be averaging only the attainments of class test. These two. Okay. And you can extend this. Just bold them up so that they look good. Right. So once you have done that, better draw some lines. It looks good. Okay. So the average attainment through assignment is 3 for CO1, and for class test it is 3 for CO1. Okay. So now what you're supposed to do is, if we just go back to our slide where I have shown you the weightages of, we can see here that out of all these 3 assignments, ultimately the marks that is going to be awarded is only 10. Okay, whereas the total marks for the theory course is 30. That means 10 marks out of the 30 is going to be the weightage for assignments, and 20 marks out of 30 is going to be the weightage for class tests. So what is this percentage? 20 by 30 is going to give me around 0.667, whereas 10 by 30 is going to give me 0.33. Okay, so that is the weightage. 0.33 or 33% is the weightage of assignments while calculating internal assessment, and 66%, 66.7% is going to be the weightage of class test while calculating the CO attainment. So based on this, we have to calculate the final CIE attainment with appropriate weightage. Final CIE attainment, CO attainment. Final CIE CO attainment is going to be, let me bold this up and I'll change the background. Okay. So this is going to be, how will I calculate that? It is calculated by assigning 33% weightage to average assignment, average the results of average assignment assessment, and 66.7% weightage for class test. So therefore it is going to be 0.33 multiplied with assignment plus 0.667 multiplied by the mid examination. Okay. So bracket was not required. So this is the attainment which I have. The same thing I extend for all the COs. So now you get the CO attainment, final CO attainment of all the courses. Through internal. If you would like to see it graphically, you can take it and just that go to insert and select a bar graph. So graphically, you'll be able to see the attainment. You can see CO5 is not attained. It is very less. Actually, it is actually very less. It is less than 1. At least here at CBIT, we follow a rule that at least you should get a minimum value of 1 for that particular any CO to be attained. Again, there are different institutes can have different mechanisms of saying whether they have attained or not, but this is one we follow, that minimum of 1. Okay, if anything less than 1 is not attained, and you have to look for some corrective action. Regarding corrective actions, we will have some other presentation. Hope you got how to calculate the final CIE attainment through the Excel sheet. Right, thank you. If you would like to do it, you automatically, then for that, yeah, we have made some templates, as I have said you earlier at CBIT, which we use for CO attainment. So this is one of the template which is used for theory evaluation. theory course evaluation. You can see all the instruments are listed here: assignment 1, 2, 3, mid 1, mid 2, semester and examination. These things we have talked about earlier. So mid 1, how we have calculated, I have talked about this in my earlier video. Similarly, mid 2 can be calculated. Similarly, there are sheets for calculating assignment assessment. So when all this assessment are calculated, again, you have a sheet called as internal attainment, where all these things are combined. So you can see assignment 1, 2, 3, average of assignment, mid 1, mid 2, average of mid, and final internal evaluation. Okay, the moment you enter the marks here, they will be modified. Okay, so hope you can find this sheet in the description below. Hope you found this thing very interesting and helpful. Okay, if you have found it interesting, please like the channel. Thank you.